Hey there guys, how's it going? My name's Brad Hart and welcome to episode 2 of Let's Talk. Before I get kick-started into the episode, I'd first of all like to thank everyone who took the time to watch, subscribe, like and comment on last week's episode. Last week's episode we covered numerous topics such as jab for a kebab and some things that may raise an eyebrow or two. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about boxing and the new way of albums and the new way the music industry is going. Without further ado, I'd like you to grab a drink. It could be alcoholic, it could be water-based, but grab a drink, pull up a chair, and let's talk. Welcome to episode 2. Okay. So let's just get this straight. We've had Jake Paul calling out Conor McGregor, calling out Tommy Fury. But before all this, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's talk about exactly who Jake Paul is and why we're discussing him on episode 2 of Let's Talk. It's quite simple really. Jake Paul is the younger brother of Logan Paul, two YouTubers that had a very, very fast rise to fame a few years ago, and love them or hate them, they've done big things for the YouTube community. But the things they've been doing recently beg to differ that opinion. They've recently started to take on boxers. Now, if we think about Logan's just taken on Floyd Mayweather after 2 fights with KSI, and at least with the Floyd Mayweather, he was going against the world's best boxer, and yes, it was an exhibition fight, there was no named winner, but at least it was valid competition, and I feel like he gave Floyd a good run. Look at it, from my perspective, Logan did give Floyd a good fight, and I did enjoy spectating it, even though it was at silly o'clock in the morning, and on top of that, I actually understand that fight. Because it's a money fight, it's an exhibition, it's two people coming together that are at the height of their careers, trying to make money together and trying to put on a show for the fans. Now, before we get into the Jake Paul stuff with Tyron Woodley coming up the end of this month, I do want to say my opinion on YouTube boxing. As much as I'm a big MMA and boxing fan, I do think it's doing good things for the sport. If it keeps going on the way it's going with Jake Paul and non-professional athletes taking on rookies or amateurs, taking on NBA fighters and things of that nature, and then professional boxers being on the undercard, I think it's damaging. But in regards to exposure for the sport, it's definitely bringing new faces, new eyes, and it's putting it on people's TVs. Now on to the main reason of episode 2 of Let's Talk. Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul clash heads and clash fists at the end of this month. And on the undercard of that is Tommy Fury. Now, yes, we all know Tommy Fury, Molly May's partner from Love Island, and some of the contestants from a few years ago, and also younger brother to world heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, who'll be taking on Deontay Wilder very, very soon. And hopefully we get the clash of the two Brits where we take on Anthony Joshua. Now back to Tommy. Tommy called out KSI a year ago, and I don't really feel like this is the way his career should be going, but he's now calling out Jake Paul, and before we know it, he's fighting in Ohio at the end of the month on the undercard. Now, the person that he's fighting is actually, in fact, Jake Paul's sparring partner. So just imagine this, okay? Tommy comes into the ring, he absolutely annihilates the sparring partner. This is the guy that Jake's been fighting for 6 months to get ready for the fight that's happening now. So what does that say about Jake's ability? Does that mean that Tommy's going to literally walk through him like a bus? Or does it mean something else? Now, don't get me wrong, Jake Paul's got a great hand. He can land and it hurts. But he's fighting NBA fighters. He's fighting retired UFC athletes. He's not actually fighting professionals. At least Tommy might actually give him a run for his money. He's called out Conor McGregor, UFC global superstar who's recently on slight decline, but a guy with a great left hand. He's also called out Canelo Alvarez. Now, that one for me is one that really, really raises my eyebrows, because at least when Logan went in the ring with Floyd, it was a fight, but you're not going to get too hurt. Floyd's small, Logan's big, and Floyd fights defensively. Canelo, but on the other hand, is fast, is witty, can find the inside cuts, can find the little slip shots, and can annihilate. And if Jake Paul steps in the ring and gets absolutely whooped, that's the end of his professional boxing career, if you ask me. Now, I am a fan of all this. I am. We've got ex-Disney star and YouTuber and head of previous group Team 10 against a retired 39-year-old MMA fighter who, don't get me wrong, is fantastic, but has lost the last 3 fights. Is this just a money grab? And what do you guys think is going to happen? Is Tyron Woodley going to land on Jake? Is he going to knock him out? Is it going to be a good fight? And what's going to happen with Tommy and the undercard? Are we going to see Tommy and Jake come together and fight? Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? Let us know in the comments below. Okay, now... Okay, so the next part of this is a bit off topic. It's this. Now, if you look at this doesn't look like much, this looks a bit weird. You're saying, Brad, why are you showing me a game of Fortnite, mate? I'm not into Fortnite, I don't twiddle my thumbs on that type of thing. But if we look at it closely, this is the Ariana Grande concert that happened last week with millions and millions and millions of viewers. Now, we've had Marshmello do it, we've had Travis Scott do it, and there are these massive, massive groups and audiences that are buying tickets on Fortnite to go and view these virtual concerts. Now, I understand that during COVID, a lot of people were doing virtual concerts. I know Youngblood was doing the Youngblood show, and people of that nature to kind of keep the fans alive and keep them exhilarated, where these celebrities were putting on complete shows and you could tune in. I know KSI just recently did the KSI show. But Fortnite? Okay, so hear me out. Is Fortnite really the way to go forward? This Battle Royale style game based on console and PC, is this the way that we want to watch singers and musicians and dancers, an animated version of them, which is pre-recorded? Now, don't get me wrong, it may be fantastic for the younger generation, and it is definitely adding that unique edge to Fortnite, but is it what we need? I think the big question is this, would you tune in to the Fortnite concert? Is that something that you'd be watching? I know a lot of people are currently talking about the new Battlefield coming out. Is there going to be a BR in that, even though we know there's not, but there's going to be a Battle Royale style gameplay in there. We've got Fortnite, who's obviously leading massively at the moment, and alongside Warzone. Imagine if you were playing Warzone and you're in the final circle and all of a sudden there's an Ariana Grande party. Like, I can't imagine it. I can imagine you throwing your flashbangs out and then Ariana Grande pops out. It's a bit strange. But then again, if we think about Fortnite gives the ability for people to play characters. You can play as Spider-Man, Batman, and I guess it's just another way of bringing new players to the game. It's making me talk about it, it's making people start conversations, and ultimately it's driving more attention back to Fortnite. And finally, but certainly not least, the final thing I'd like to speak to you guys today about is A-level results. Today, or when you're watching this, yesterday, A-level results were released and people have been given their offers from universities. There's not really much to say about this, apart from there has been a 45% increase in A-star and A results, which I think is fantastic, considering the year we've had with COVID and things of that nature. But I'd like to congratulate everyone on their university offers. If you didn't get into the uni you weren't looking for, doesn't matter, don't worry about it. If you got the grades, if you didn't get the grades, either way, well done and congratulations. Now guys, I really thank you guys for tuning in today and watching episode 2 of Let's Talk, the show where I talk to you about how, why and what has been happening in the week. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you next week.